What's going on, guys? Back again. It's Thursday. Weekend's just that much further away. It's that much closer, I mean. Hope you've had an awesome week. Hope you accomplish your goals. They're only weekly goals, of course. Let's just keep smashing it. And speaking of smashing, I must have just watched the Hulk or something because it's on my mind. Or I smashed my finger in the door. That's most likely what happened. I wanted to talk about how to smash the 4 biggest challenges in commercial property management. Now I'm not a property manager. We're a cleaning company that specializes in servicing commercial property management properties. However, I was in the commercial real estate realm, and I was lucky enough to be trained by some of the best commercial agents in our area, in our region. And I did learn a few tips and tricks along the way, but now I'm just a lowly cleaner looking for some jobs. So let's start. Let's begin. What's one of the biggest issues? Number one, let's just talk about it. For a property management company, a commercial property management company, attracting and retaining tenants. You all know that's without doing that, we're all out of a job. The biggest thing we know is replacing a tenant can take as long as 2 years, especially these bigger box single tenant buildings. But there's some ways that we can hopefully quickly speed this process up and find tenants quicker. So step one would be, of course, happy tenants. Lease renewal is number one, and they renew on a better frequency if they're happy. Like we talked about last episode, just the simpleness behind just being a nice person goes a long ways. Now, tenant dissatisfaction usually boils down to a lack of communication or lack of customer service. And there are other courses, there are of course other issues, of course, that go along with this. Sometimes they just need more space. They're growing out of the space, or maybe they're downsizing and they don't need as much space. Maybe they need to try a different location. We all know, we've all heard those different reasons why people move and don't continue leasing from us. Now, one thing that I think would really help to maintain and to keep retaining these tenants and attract new tenants is to make tenants aware of maintenance schedules. It seems simple and it seems like, hey, it's a no-brainer, but are we doing more than just letting them know the day before of, hey, XYZ landscaping company is going to fix that fountain over here next to your facility. It's been broken for a few months. You can automate that so it makes things easier for you and makes it foolproof, so it's going to happen. Some of these programs you can get to automate these are Aweber. You can set up, maybe even Calendly, or there's another system called AppToto. You can set up automatic emails to go out, automatic texts to go out to the tenant heads that are making those decision makers, and it can make those phone calls that just has an automated message form. So those are things that make your life easier, and it makes a huge difference with your tenants. They know, and they respond to knowing that you care and you are up on everything that's going on in their property. Your property, of course, but their space that they're leasing. Tenants, going on to the next step here, is tenants appreciate a building and premises that are safe and well maintained. We talked about this last episode a little bit, but you walk around the facility, and this is not something you need to do. But of course you're going to do your visits, but this is something your landscaping company you can do. If you need to, your janitorial company can do. Walk around the facility, pick up trash, repaint some curbing, do anything you can to make it look presentable and make it look good. Nothing turns anyone off. Customers, tenants, tired, worn-looking building and premises. If there's dead grass, strips left and right, those are easy, cheap fixes to make tenants happy. You don't want to lose, a tenant that's paying you 50, 100 grand or more a year because there's dead strips of grass in the ground, or not maintaining just the simple things. Um, so that should be a big one. Another one that we deal with keeping the property well maintained is, depending on your position in the lease, what type of lease it is. Are the restrooms tidy? Are they something out of a horror film? That doesn't do anything more to help a tenant stay in that position. Are your carpets being cleaned on a regular basis? Are your tile and grout being cleaned on a regular basis? Is there a ton of water scale in your drinking fountains? Those are things that are just minor things, but when they're done and completed, man, it makes a huge difference on how that property feels and how even the happiness of the tenants. Again, each lease is different. Each tenant has their different responsibilities. So take that for what it is. We've talked about that before. I don't need to mention too much more, but of course there's the triple nets, the full service, the modified gross, all those different ones, and what you're entered into. And then last but not least, on attracting and retaining good tenants, is find a commercial broker that moves a lot of property in your area. They know the market. They know what's going on. They know what the challenges are in that area. You don't want to find someone that does mostly residential real estate and then dabbles in commercial. You need to find someone that's full commercial, that they're fully invested, especially in these bigger cities. Some of these commercial agents represent national tenants, and they already have clients in mind. And when you call them to come look at your facility that's vacant or going to be vacant, hopefully you're in that situation that hopefully 6 months at least in advance that it's going to be vacated. They can get on the ball. They might have clients right away in their pocket that says, yeah, we have a client right now. They're ready to rock and roll. Let's put them in. So when that tenant's moving out, we do a few TIs and we put them in there, and there's no gap in making that money. So finding a good commercial broker in your area is huge. So that's number one, is attracting and retaining good tenants. Secondly, in your property management firm, you have to deal with this personally, is hiring and training and retaining staff. Now this, I could go off and we'll talk about this a lot more later in more detail, but when we're hiring people, you see a lot of boring. You go to Indeed, you'll see the most boring ads for job postings, and they're so boring. And everyone has and it's the same format. I swear, there must be some kind of format that how to write a boring ad. You see them all over Indeed, or whatever you use, and it doesn't have to be that way. If you're we hire with core values. In our company, our core values: be honest, work together, have fun, and make money. And if we can't make a decision with those core values in mind, we don't make that decision. That being said, we write our job postings with our core values in mind. One of our core values is having fun. I'm kind of goofy looking, of course, and just goofy in general. So we have fun with our job posting. We show people that who we are through that post. So if you have a company that's very serious, and zero fun happens there, and it's just you go in at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, you grind it out all day, and no one cracks a smile, and you go home at 5 to your family, that's how you need to write that job posting, because you need to search after those type of people. Now, if your company is a fun company, and no disrespect either way, but it's your culture. It doesn't matter. Whatever your culture is, write the job posting to that. So if you're a fun company that likes to enjoy having fun at work, but also, of course, you got to get work done. You got to get serious about work. Whatever it is, just write your ad to your culture of your company. So there's no bait and switch happening. When you hire someone and they come in, you want that ad, that vibe from the ad to kind of carry through and be like, wow, these guys are exactly how this ad described, and this is going to be something awesome. That's what's going to help retain staff, and just living by your core values. So if number one, if you don't have core values, come up with some core values. What are the things that really describe you, the head honchos of the company? What describes you? What runs? What kind of things do you? I don't know. What makes you tick? And write some of those words down and discuss it with your management staff, or if you're a smaller company and it's just a few of you, just figure out what those core values are, and try to have a list of core values, anywhere from 3 and no more than 5 core values, and really write that ad towards it. Another way, of course, is to offer some benefits. If you're a big company, offering benefits is great. Everyone wants benefits nowadays. If you're a small company and you can't afford the big benefit plans, there are those supplemental benefit companies like Aflac. Allstate does it really well. That we use it for our employees. Excuse me. And there are a lot of different things that they do cover, and it makes a huge difference for your staff. And then there's some other things going along with that. You could do simple IRAs. You could pay for the gym memberships. You could, of course, mileage reimbursements and just different perks and parties. Bring their families to the party. You get to know your employees on a better level and a more natural level when they're in front of their family. You're not just seeing work Tom or work Nancy. You're seeing, hey, this is the real Tom, this is the real Nancy, because that's how they are in front of their families. And that's what helps you. We start bridging that gap with relationships and helping your employees feel like, hey, we're really part of something here. This is something we want to see through. They're going to increase your longevity of employees, and you get better employees too. We have some of the best employees around. And I'm not just saying that. I love our freaking employees. They're amazing people, and it's because we hire off our core values. They're all fun to be around, and we have a blast. But we also can work hard, and I know they're good people. I say so many times. Third one, lowering operating costs. Of course, I got to get to the nitty gritty here. Everyone wants to do it. It's January. Everyone's trying to lower operating costs, and that's fine. Let's talk about how do we smash this problem. You're tasked with it. You're not alone. It's an item on every commercial property manager's agenda. So itemize and review your expenses. Now, a few things you can look at is, are you paying multiple different landscape companies or even janitorial companies to tend to your properties? Perhaps one would offer a discount for maintaining the grass and snow and removing all of that from all your properties. These are the things you can think of when you manage multiple properties, is that you can get push your weight around a little bit and consolidate who your vendors are, and they will give you better discounts. Oops, sorry about that. Discounts and of course, you're not trying to get the cheapest person, because we all know you get what you pay for. But I know as you consolidate and look at what you're paying for vendors, that could definitely help lower some costs there. Second one is meet with your insurance agent. Review your coverage and make sure you aren't paying for more coverage than you need. And on the workers' comp code wise, are your employees being coded correctly with workers' comp? This is a big opportunity to save. If Nancy is just sitting behind the desk all day doing her work on the computer, and part of then you have maintenance people for your company coded the same way, you're paying more for Nancy to be coded the same way as one of your maintenance guys are, because it's a higher risk position with your property with your maintenance people than it would be with someone who's just sitting behind a desk doing her work. So some opportunities to saving with your own staff and within your own realm there. So hopefully those few points there will help you lower some of your operating costs. And of course, vendor management. How do we smash this? We talked about this just a little bit in the lowering your operating costs. This typically includes with your vendor management, your HVAC, your construction, your lawn care, snow removal, maintenance, pest control, janitorial, and others. But if you can choose vendors that can solve multiple problems for you, and consolidating, if your janitorial company can also change out your lights and do some other things, that's less people that have to be in your property, less service calls that are going to be coming your way if someone's already in your facility, and less money, and it all boils down to less money you're going to be paying out. So consolidate and make sure that your vendors have some efficiency practices already set up. Now, a few questions you can ask yourself when you're going to choose a vendor is, number one, do they have a streamlined way to report and perform inspections on your property? That's a big one. Do they streamline the invoicing process by placing a card or ACH on file, eliminating paperwork, and saving time on your accounts payable? Do they background check their employees and their staff to limit your liability by not allowing felons or undocumented employees into your property? And that's a big one there. These are some of the things you should be looking for to save time and to save money while hiring vendors. So these are the few things that you should hopefully smash some of your 4 biggest challenges you're dealing with in the commercial property management. And if we can help you at all, call us today. Ask us how we can help you or assist you in smashing these challenges. The phone number's up above, and it's 208-904-2446. And please, we can help you. But look for those things that we discussed, and I promise you that'll help you smash these challenges, and it'll help you streamline, and it'll help you save some money. So have a good one. See you later.